Hi there and welcome to Module 5, which is building a responsive list fast. Now there's several things to this that we need to go through because you've probably heard this phrase before, that the money is in the list. And it is very true, but it's in a responsive list. Now there are some methods of list building that basically you just get tire kickers. What we're doing though is something very different. We want to build long-term trust, rapport, authority, and basically build a foundation for long-term success. So building a list is critical to building a long-term business. I really want you to have that in your mind because it does allow you to build trust, rapport, and confidence. Because here's the thing, we're applying some of the absolute best principles of online marketing in a niche that is not used to the best marketing methods applied. That is why what we're doing here in the Kickstart program is so very powerful. And long-term success really depends on your ability to convert those visitors and keep them as well. Because a lot of sites, they build a business, build a site, they get people in, they have a high bounce rate, low conversions, and then they have to make up for it with more and more traffic. Well, if you can do a lot with a little traffic, you're going to be doing great. And then if you maximize your conversions and have a lot of traffic, you will be doing fantastic. And that is why we're building this foundation. Now, with that being said, we want to create raving fans who will take action. And we want to come from a position of giving as well. Now, what do I mean by that? We are going to give them incredible value, not only with our content, but everything else we do as well. And what we are going to do by doing this, by giving them stuff, value, and giving them something that comes from us that has real value in terms of a giveaway or a product, we create reciprocity in their minds. Basically, we have given them incredible value and we're seen as a positive influence. We're seen as a positive person. So we want to build that reciprocity in our target market so that it comes back to us. And we must give value. This is one critical thing that a lot of sites don't do. They don't focus on their readers, their visitors, and giving value. But we want to encourage them to take action. So by giving value, by cementing our authority and the fact that we are the person with the answers, we can actually control the message. And that's what marketing is all about, is guiding people to the solution. So we'll give them something away that will either be a form of conversion. Maybe you want to build a list or drive them to an affiliate offer. Maybe you just don't want to capture their information. You just want to drive them to an affiliate offer. If that's what you want to do, fine. It works, and it works incredibly well. But one thing I have proven time and time again is that if you do it by capturing their information, you get multiple opportunities to market to that customer, plus have them very happy for you doing it because you've provided such incredible value. And I did a split test with almost 2 identical sites, and I've done this test several times, and I've even done it live, where we've had 2 sites almost identical, one with a affiliate offer, one where we've captured the information of the user and then done something else with it, marketed to them afterwards. We have multiplied the lifetime value of that customer tenfold. So if one customer actually that converts is worth $30, the lifetime value of one that you put into an authority cycle and a trust builder, as we call it, you are going to magnify that by 10 times, and it is well worth the extra effort. And I've seen in examples where it's been 20 or even 100 times the value. So we also keep in contact with them because we want to build a long-term conversation and a long-term relationship. We want to be, for example, we've been using a dog training site. I want to be the go-to person for their dog training needs and advice and tips. That's the aim here. So from there, we can make recommendations, promote actual products, and do it from a place of authority because they trust us, they listen to us, and they will follow our recommendations. Or we can direct them to specific actions we take. Say, for example, if I'm a real estate broker and I've given them some great advice and tips about buying a house or what to look for, when it's time for them to take action, we say, hey, call me, tell me about your real estate needs. Guess what? You've now got them calling you, or you say, hey, enter your number and we'll do a free private consultation. No problem. If they give you their number, you can then call them, and then the ball is in your court to follow up. That little nugget right there is worth its weight in gold. That's $1,000 or $100,000 tip right there. Because think about in a real estate market, if you follow up with people, ask them what their real estate needs are, maybe they got a house on the market or things like that, you can give them, a little bit of consultation. Even if they're with someone else right now or a real estate broker right now, if they don't sell their house, guess what? They might come to you to say, oh, well, what would you do in this situation? And then, again, you cement yourself as that authority figure because now you're their unofficial advisor and stuff like that. And then you could later on become the official advisor. So there's all sorts of things that you can do. And I'm using two rough examples, but it really depends how you apply it to your business, whether you want to promote products, promote your own product, or just build authority and have them taking other types of actions that you can monetize. That's what we're doing here. So, with that being said, our goal is to be a leader in their minds for your market. You've got to keep that in your mind as well. So, we talked just a moment ago about what we call the Trust Builder sequence. Now, I'm going to diagram this out in a moment. But what we want to do is once we have a sign up, we want to follow up with them and send them value emails every few days. And once we do this, we encompass things like tips, advice, how-tos and stuff like that. Those make great content. They're what I call non-specific actions. Because you're not telling them to go do something so they're too busy to take action later on. But what you're doing is warming them up. So those are very powerful little segments of content. And I recommend you have about 20 to 30 emails in your sequence. They don't have to be long. You can keep them pretty short, but they should deliver value. And you're warming up your list for the future. That's the important things. And then later on, you can profit and at every step in this entire process and maximize your results. So what is the flow? Well, we have site visitors. We drive them to a free Trust Builder download or some sort of action where we give them something in exchange for their information. Then what we do then is we can monetize it by offering a one-time offer. And I like to do it pretty low cost. Something below $20. And I'll go through this in a few moments when we show you how to apply this. Then I put them on the email sequence, which is from an autoresponder. And an autoresponder, if you're not familiar with this term, is basically an email service like Aweber or GetResponse or MailChimp is a great example. And I'm going to use MailChimp in this module because for the first 2,000 subscribers, it's actually free. So that's pretty powerful. And what you do is you set up your autoresponder to send out your recurring emails. And then after a period of time, we may offer a product or service and we keep it simple. That way, and here's one thing, people overcomplicate email marketing and all the rest of it. They complicate the process of marketing in general. If you follow the basics, and this is a fairly basic timeline or setup, here, a fairly simple flow, this is profitable because people coming in, if you give them incredible value, like the one-time offer that we're mentioning there, basically they come in, get a freebie when they sign up, they get an extra offer, and maybe we offer them $100 of stuff for under $20. That's a no-brainer deal. Guess what? You could profit right there. Say, hey, we've also got this other package. Would you like to have a look at it? Great. Perfect. It's easy to set up, and we'll show you this in detail in a few moments. So this is the flow. So let's put it all into place, and I'm also going to show you one of my conversion secret weapons. Okay, so we're on the Dog's Day magazine website, and you can see there's been a few wee changes here. We added some content in the last couple of days, and you can see that we've got all sorts of stuff on here. We got information about different breeds. We've got some dog training articles and things like that. We've got the slideshow, which is automatic once you upload images and assign images to your posts. It's actually very, very powerful and works incredibly well. So this is actually just all done. But I was going to show you from the last module, before we get into the list building side of things, how to actually put your content in and format it. So I'm going to come back to the dashboard here. I'm going to go to posts and add a new post because I've got an article actually right here, and it's not formatted. So I'm going to show you the formatting of it. You can see we've got everything in here. So I'm going to put the title in here. So for example, the keyword is electronic dog training collar. So that's the focus keyword. And again, I'm not going to go through all the SEO and structures because this actually doesn't have a lot of that. This is actually just a general article. But I do have the content here. So I'm going to literally copy and paste this in. Now, one thing you've got to be careful about when posting from Word, for example, is because Word actually has some very random ways they do things. And it can insert all sorts of crazy code. So I like to keep it what I call sanitized. And I'm using, I'm removing all these extra lines it puts in, for example, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. You can see all these. But what we're doing is just putting these in, taking out the spaces. They're short paragraphs, which is what I wanted. And oops, one too many. And it's a fairly detailed article. I actually like this a lot. It doesn't have all the subheadings and all the rest of it that I recommended. So what I'm going to do is, you see I've got another little tool over here. This is called Easy WP SEO, and it kind of gives you an SEO score for what you're doing. Now I don't. Here's the thing: you can be too optimized. Google doesn't like over-optimized pages, but they do like authority pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that as the keyword in there, and it'll give me a kind of score in a few moments. But you'll notice one thing I did was have a nice image on a lot of these. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this article, and you can see I got the image there and what have you. So we're going to do this. We're going to add an image. I'm going to pull an image down from Deposit Photos. Again, this is a fairly cheap stock site, so I like this. You can, if you want to save money, you can also go to Flickr, but you should also make sure that if you're going to Flickr, you find images that are commercially available, well, able to be used for commercial use, but they do often require that you link back to the Flickr page. That can be good for SEO because you have an external link on the page, but it's entirely up to you how you do that and how you handle that. Because one thing that this, it's not so bad because the one thing that this does, it has a lightbox thing where it will pop up an image just like that, which is nice. I like that. So you don't actually lose link juice, which is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. So that is one way to do that, but we are going to grab, let's see, I'm talking about dogs, dog collars, so I'm just going to grab one. I'm just going to grab one called dog. Let's see, you can put in keywords like dog training and stuff like that. I've already done that. But I do want to have something that we could use. Actually, I was just looking at that one with the dog with the headphones. That's actually funny. So I'm going to grab this one. Now, you have to also be aware of the sizes and things like that. So I'm going to grab this one here. It's $2 or 2 credits. That's actually a wee bit more expensive than I usually like. But what I'm going to do is I rename it. Here's a little SEO tip for you as well. If my keyword is electronic dog training collar, I'll actually rename the file to that name. So say for example, I'm going to, let's see, where's my downloads? Sean Donahoe, downloads. Okay, I can't remember which one's which now. Okay, that's that one. That's that one. So I'm going to rename that electronic dog training collar, even with the spaces. And then what I'm going to do is in here, go to the very beginning. I'm going to upload an insert. And then you can just drag the image into this. So I'm going to do that. You can see that's going to upload. And there's the kind of a cropping of it, so to speak. But you'll see that the title is now taking the keyword, and then we'll also put in the alt text, and then I'm going to insert, I can either leave it with no link, or I'm going to leave it in there. I assign it to the right and use the medium version, because the full size one is quite wide and quite tall, but we'll keep it kind of small. So we'll do that, insert into the post. And we've got that there. If we roll over it, we see that. That's good. Now, a couple of other things. I'm going to show you another secret here. Right now, we don't have a basically a focus keyword, and we don't have a meta description. Now, a meta description, most people don't rank by meta descriptions anymore, but they do show up as descriptions in the search engines. So one thing a lot of people do is they just leave it and then let Google or WordPress generate them. I don't like doing that. Here's one tip for you that is worth thousands of dollars in revenue for me, is I actually create a strong call to action from my article. So for example, my first paragraph is about, say, electronic dog training collars, and that's, I know what the article's about. I'll write something with a call to action. So for example, worried that and then electronic dog training collar, so I'll take out the cap so it's more sentence case here. Let's see, so the dog training collar, actually, you know what, let's do this. Electronic dog training collars. Now, Google knows the difference between collar and collars, just so you know, are very powerful dog training tools, or let's say tools, strategies that don't need to be shocking. Click here to learn more about, then the keyword. Here's the thing, I like to try and double tap the keyword. Now, so if you notice here, there's a little counter that tells me I'm 18 characters over, and it does give you a preview. So you see this, and I'm using an ellipse at the end, 3 periods, but I'm still many characters over, so I need to trim this down. So let me think here, how can I do this? Click here to, let's see, first of all, change that. Now I'm using a long tail keyword on this one, so it's kind of, it is a wee bit longer than I'd like. A very powerful, let me just do this. Do that. How many? And I've got 29 characters left. Electronic dog training laws don't need to be shocking for your dog if done right. So basically I'm saying that, yeah, hey, if you do it right, but I don't tell them how, so that's going to create curiosity. Curiosity is one of the leading traffic generators for you. So now I've still got 2 characters left, and I've double tapped the keyword. So you can see you've got dog training collars, dog, electronic dog training collar. I'm not keyword stuffing because, again, this does not come into your actual SEO. So we'll also add in the keywords and the tags. Now, again, meta keywords really aren't that, you don't really need them, but I will add them anyway. So I'm going to say electronic dog training collar, training collars for dogs. dog training with electronic dog training collar. So those are some keywords. Also, I'll put them as tags, and they're separated by comma. I recommend you have about 5 keywords and 5 tags, if that. But use one. Here's another little tip for you. If you want to see what Google thinks is a related term or an LSI term, go to google.com, put in your keyword, which in my case is not that. It's a little too long. Okay, so dog training collar. Then come to show search tools and then related searches. Guess what? You've just got an entire list of terms right there. Now you could use something like, I'll use this. So we take out the ones we don't want, like those two, and then maybe Innotech. So there we go. Strip those out. I'm going to show you a really cool little trick. So you learn all sorts of things. I wasn't even planning on, I had forgotten about this and I wasn't going to mention this, but if you put a comma like that, except for the last one, copy this. Watch this. I'm going to show you a little trick. Even though that's on many lines, I can delete this and pop it in just like that. Now I should have, you see it puts it all on one line, so I should include our main keyword as the first one. So I'll do it only with the last ones. And then copy that and I'll put it over here. So we've got, just make sure we've got no double ups. Okay, so there's some keywords. Right now we have all of the LSI keywords you needed. And boom! What we'll do now is, you'll notice I haven't set a featured image. I have a plugin called Auto Featured Image, which actually takes the first one, or the first image, and applies it as your featured image. So I'll click that. Watch this. So publish. And hopefully in just a few moments. Takes a second, especially when you're live. And you can see it set the featured image there. Now the SEO score is not very good. I could improve it. So say for example, I'd add something like, you know, why electronic dog training collars are valuable training tools. And then I'd make that an H2, for example, which is stronger than H3. And then I might have like this. Other considerations for dog training collars. So you see I'm not using a keyword in that, but I'm using a related term. And again, you could see what your other related terms are from your research on Google real quick to see. And then we'll see, okay, title begins with a keyword. Okay, it doesn't, so let's do that. Don't have to be shocking. So we got the keyword at the beginning, and it gives you kind of little pointers. You can see, okay, the meta description meta tag begins with a keyword. Well, we kind of sort of did. Electronic dog training collars. This doesn't detect the S and the, in collars versus collar, but that's fine. And that's why the score's slightly down, but you get the idea. So I'm going to update that. Like I say, don't over-optimize. If you get into the green on the SEO score, that's fine, about 70%, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I just want to show you the basics. And again, I could bold up different words and stuff like that, but let's actually view the post. So there we go. We got that in there. Shows you the kind of functions and everything else. And you can see the tags and what have you. So that's not too bad. Looks pretty good. If we go to the home page, we also have that as the featured content right now. So not too bad at all. In fact, that's gone a wee bit big because I used a giant image, but there you go. Actually, I know my content provider is adding a new one, so that's why that one's in there. Okay, so that that explains that. My content providers are doing a huge image. I was wondering about that. Okay, so anyway, you can see we've also got some other categories in here. So we've got I actually, I was talking about in one of the earlier modules that we had one article that was dog breed alphabetical list. Well, it turned out to be a bit of a monster because it's about 160 different breeds of dogs. So my content provider actually wrote profiles for all the different dogs. So I'm going to show you this one here real quick. Oh, actually, I put that article in the wrong one, but there you go. So, for example, Alaskan Malamute, and you've got different stuff in here for that. So we got all sorts of content coming in and playing around with that. It's good fun. Good fun stuff. Now, the main thing we're going to talk about, though, is converting this. So what we're going to do is, well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the assignment of this particular one. That goes to dog training tips and not that one. So good. Okay. So we're doing pretty well so far. We've got a really good looking site, to be quite honest. I'm really liking this. For at the speed at which we built this site. And again, a lot of it honestly is down to the theme and the settings. I mean, this right now, I should mention this theme is actually iPad compatible as well. So we've played around with that on the iPad. It actually does have a pretty good version for that, and it looks pretty awesome, I've got to say. So you've got a mobile ready site as well. Now again, this is the beta of this theme. By the time you're looking at this, maybe the full commercial version is available, but it will still be free. But it is a absolutely amazing authority theme. So we got all sorts of stuff going on, but we do need to build the actual content funnel. We actually need to build our trust builder. Now, we were talking about trust builder and doing a giveaway. So we've got to actually have something to give away. Now, one thing I could do, and the reason I mentioned the dog breed section, for example, is there's 160 different dogs. We're adding all of the dog breeds in here with information about what each one is and everything else. For example, we got Ardile Terrier here and stuff like that. If someone was looking at dog breed information, one good little sample we could give away is put all of those breeds into a PDF file, and that could be our downloader, and say, hey, get the inside scoop about all the different breeds, click here. Or another thing that I like to do is I like to look what's already out there, especially if I'm in a popular niche. I love being in a niche where there's lots of, first of all, content, lots of people, and it's a big market. Now, I use this site all the time, master-resalerights.com. So it's master-resale-rights.com. Love this site. And if I go in here right now and look for something like dog training or dogs, I want to see, if my focus is dog training, I'll go that way. If I want to actually, let's have a look here and see what we've got. Here's a perfect example, 100 dog training tips, dog training basics, pet articles. So there's actually articles that you can use as a basis. Here's the thing though, if you get private label rights, that's what PLR stands for. I do suggest rewriting it, because I guarantee that if it's for sale, lots of other people have used it and published it already, which means you've got duplicate content. That won't help your site. Now, let's see, training your German Shepherd. Okay, that's a little too specific. I like to keep things generic. Home food dog, healthy homemade dog food recipes. Interesting. Now, here's one thing I should say as well. I'm actually looking for several packages, because what I do is I will let me bring up my chalkboard here a second. I'm going to grab my graphics tablet because I need to explain this. So this is a difficult concept to get, and although we're talking about specifics here, I do also want to talk about broad scope concepts. When a customer comes to your website, okay, horrible drawing, I want them to see the article that brought them in and then move down the article so that right underneath we're going to have our trust builder. And this trust builder is going to have a picture of what they're going to get, something, and then have them with a form to get this download. From there, they're taken to the autoresponder, and it grabs their email, puts them on the list. When they come back, usually they come back to what's called a confirmation page. Now, you've probably been through this when you've signed up yourself. What this does, it says, hey, go confirm, and I'm dyslexic, so I forgot the R in that. Okay, so confirm page. So basically, hey, go check your email, click on the link. When they click on this link, we're going to have them go to a OTO page, a one-time offer page. Now, if they say no to that, well, if they say yes, we give them a download page. We'll call this thank you page with the download thank you page D, and they go to go through ClickBank or through PayPal to buy this. And you can set up a PayPal button, a special PayPal button on here, and they can go download this. If they say no, no problem. You give them their freebie. So this one is just we'll call it the thank you, and we'll call it F for free. Now this one, they get the download plus the free download, so they get both. This one, they just get a base thank you page. So here's the cool thing. You can either use the autoresponders version of a confirmation page or put one yourself, plus an OTO page, and then 2 download pages. And you integrate them together. So it's 4 extra pages, but this is your trust builder. Then what happens after they're on both of this? They then get, and I'm going to draw an arrow here, they then get your email sequence over a period of time and get all those extra value emails. That's what this is all about. So they get one, maybe this is after, well, they'll get this one after 0 days. In other words, immediately. Maybe this one in 4 days, this one in 8 days after sign up, this one in 12 days, however quick you want it. But you want to be basically engaged with them pretty much from the start. And like I say, if you've got 20 to 30 value emails, that's great. Now, one of the questions I get asked when I taught this in boot camps is, do I have to write 20 whole things? Well, here's a beautiful thing. I just told you that you can get private label rights articles. You could get a article pack and use those as your emails. Because here's the thing. With SEO, you don't want to publish those on your site, but they make fantastic emails. They're already written. You can grammar check them, make sure everything's cool, because you're never quite sure about the quality until you get the stuff. But they make fantastic quality emails. So for example, I've got 25 pet articles. Maybe I want to make sure they're good. Or here's a good example. Dog training basics. Now, I don't know if this is private label rights. Let me check. Because you want to check the licenses. And I look down. Okay. It's master resale. Now, it's not private label rights. And what you want to look for is sometimes you get a book that's an ebook or something like that. You have the ability to actually break it down into articles, which is pretty cool. Now I'm going to see I'm just grabbing this one because I saw private label rights, but I want to make sure this one is talking about dog barking. But let's see, offered as a bonus, giveaway rights. Okay, so you can give this away. That's the important thing. You can claim full copyright of it. That's fine. May modify it. That's fine. But I don't see break it down into articles, which you probably can. If you got all those rights, you're likely okay to do so. but I like to make sure of things. Okay, 25 terrier articles. Okay, let's have a look. I'm trying to find something. See, dog training is a huge niche, so I want to make sure that we've got something. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. You see, some of these are only like $5, but in the long run, if you sell them, I mean, you look at the like recommended retail price, $17. You get 5 of these together, you've got $100 worth of value that you can sell. Here we go. Can be broken down into articles. There's a great example. You can claim full copyright, alter the sales material. That's great. Offered through dime sales and offered as a free bonus. I want to see about giveaway. Can be given away for free? No. Okay, fine. Then we'll break it down for articles and use it on, in our email sequence. Or if you do a search, here's a cool thing. If you want free content for your website, a lot of people don't realize they can take full ebooks like this and break it down into articles. Guess what? You might have a whole load of articles and great quality content here that you can start using on your site and sprinkle it on your blog and stuff like that. That's a gold nugget tip right there. So it's great for content. What we're going to do though is I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to see what I can grab as a giveaway for starters. So give me a few moments. I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back and show you how I picked the selection and what we used. Back, and I found 2 perfect products after a wee bit of searching that I think are going to be perfect for what we want to do. Now, I found one private label rights product that I have the ability to give away, and a product, and I'll just show you that. That's 100 dog training tips. And this is a 13-page PDF. It was written this year, so it's relatively modern, but we're going to give this away. I'm look down here, and this has resale rights, private label rights, giveaway rights. That's good. Offered as a bonus if we wanted to. We can claim full copyright, may modify the product as much as we want. We got all the rights we want. Now, one thing I always say when you're using private label rights, just so that you have no problems, and I've never had this, but I always want to make sure, because I'm very strong on copyrights and making sure you've got rights to use everything, I would actually grab a full copy of this page, save it as a PDF, and then keep it. That way, if anyone says, oh, well, that's my product, or, you don't have the right to do that, well, guess what? You actually say, well, I bought it from here in good faith, and here's all the rights. It shows my distribution rights. It's just good practice to do that for anything that you're using that you didn't create. So that's a long-term business strategy thing as well. And usually when you get a download pack, there's a little summary sheet in here that has that same kind of thing. So we're going to use this as our giveaway. We're going to change the cover. We're going to do all sorts of cool stuff here. It also comes, and this is a very cool thing with a lot of master resale rights stuff, they usually already come with a page that you can use that is your one-time offer or your squeeze page, and you usually give you bullet points. So automatically, this page here, or at least the content for this, can be extracted from a squeeze page, but we can use that squeeze page for something else later on. And if you're an accelerator member, we'll cover that there. Also, the sales page, if you have one, takes care of this page. And then sometimes you also get the downloaded pages as well. You just have to modify them a little bit or convert them into WordPress. So we're already taken care of in some regards with both. I'll just pick a color here for highlighting. We've taken care of this one and this one by getting our pack. So again, your minimized work is done. And then if you get a private label rights articles, all of this stuff here is done as well, because you can extract and do all that kind of thing. So, okay, so coming back over here, the other one I picked was this one here, Dog Training Basics. It comes with a sales page already. So, it's already kind of done. You can put bullet points and stuff like this on here. There's actually a full version of it here. That's your one-time offer page. Again, all you do is swap out these buttons for PayPal links and say it's usually $37. You could sell it for 17 and off you go. Now, again, I would want to convert this into a WordPress page, or you can just leave it with this, or have a graphics artist convert it for you, or do something. Here's the thing. I'm all about branding. And if you're creating yourself as an established authority, you don't want to show the same content that everyone else has. So where this has like different ads already done, I mean, it's already prepped. I would get a graphics artist to rebrand it and redo this for you. I mean, you can set this up with an affiliate link and stuff like this. I love the fact that you can get affiliates, but again, we'll cover more of this kind of stuff in the Accelerator training program. And again, I'm going to be quite honest, guys. What we're doing here is we're doing the basics. We're giving you a foundation. But once we've built this foundation, there is so much that you can do with an online business. We're just laying the groundwork. Everything from there is building on this foundation to create an empire. And I mean, we'll get into affiliate marketing. We'll get into video marketing, content generation, syndication, all of the really cool things that takes your basic business up to be a powerhouse. So if you're not an accelerator, can't even talk. If you're not an accelerator member, I do suggest that you sign up, upgrade, and take the $1 trial and get started with that, because that, on top of everything else, is so powerful. Plus, we do the live Ask Sean sessions every single week where I'm on a webinar and I'm talking to everyone, sharing my secrets, and then you get to ask me any questions. Literally, you have a guru in your living room helping you build your 6 or 7 figure business. It's literally that powerful. So if you're not a member, go sign up for that. Anyway, digressing, you can see that you get lots of content here. You get a summary. One thing I always like as well, you also get some bullet points. These give you the benefits of what you're getting. So keeping your dog motivated, the do's and don'ts of house training, it gives you all these kind of great bylines that you can use for marketing. And this, it's 100 pages of content, and it's available in PDF, doc file, PBS, HTML, even ePublisher format, so that if you needed to, you could also put this up on Kindle. Now, again, I would rewrite it a lot because Kindle's filters are getting pretty good for detecting private label right stuff. But here's the other thing. It also comes with a 7-day e-course, so you could put that right into your email sequence. Has got promotional articles, again, put those on your blog. If you rewrite them, banner ads, even keywords to target as well. So I love that. I love packages like this. Very powerful. So I'm going to order both of these. And what I'm going to do is it's going to take a few moments. So I'm going to pause the video, order these, and then I will be back in just a moment. Okay, so we are downloading our order. I have processors. You can see it's coming down right now. One of them is actually pretty big. The other one is relatively small, only 10 megabytes. So what I'm going to do is bring that back up, my head up, and unzip this one. Now again, I'm on a Mac, but everything I'm showing you is not dependent on whether you're on a Mac or a PC. So we got this. Okay, I'm just going to move this across to my desktop so I can easily work with it. Now we have the website squeeze page, which I can pull up and open here. So, and you can insert your opt-in form there. That's pretty basic, but we got the cool thing is we've got a screenshot, if we want it, of the product. But I'll be quite honest, I always redo all of that stuff. I actually go to, I'm going to show you a micro outsourcing place, Fiverr.com. If you want, say, ebook cover, type in ebook cover. There's plenty of graphics artists that will work and do a cover for you. They have all sorts of graphics tools available. And one thing, if you have a picture or a picture that you're using as your persona, then that's the persona you want to put on there, and you want to specify that you want this as if it was going on Kindle. The reason being is you want to show them, and I always say this, show them examples of book covers that you like. Go do a search on Kindle, go see, or Amazon, see what kind of covers you like, what kind of graphics you like, and say, this is the style I want. If you specify that it must be clear, readable, and everything else, and look professional, you'll get a lot better content. And I always suggest that when you're looking through places like this, you do want to see examples and their reviews. Now, again, you get what you pay for. If you want to have a really good cover for your ebook, then I do suggest that you find a good graphics designer and pay a little bit more. But here you go. This is an example. I saw this one as I'm flicking through here. We'll see how this looks. So that's more like this kind of style and professionalism and stuff like that. And if the reviews are good, okay, I prefer to see more reviews, but hey, it's not bad. We can work with some of the stuff here and get you going pretty quick. The cool thing is I will have them do a cover for the giveaway and then also a cover for your sales ones as well, and play around with that. So got 2 downloaded right now. I'm going to close this window. Oh, one thing that I should mention, if you don't have Microsoft Office and you want to create PDFs and export them as PDFs, get LibreOffice. Now, this is kind of like a free alternative to Microsoft Office, but it can save out as PDFs, which means you automatically have a download ready to go. I use this a lot. It's a great tool. Although I use Microsoft Office, I have used this just for its PDF exporting capabilities. I also, if you have the budget, the top tool is Adobe Acrobat, but it's about $1,000, so it's out of the price range of most people. But this does it for free. There's nothing wrong with free. I love it. So anyway, coming back to the downloads, let's have a look at what we've got. You also have a screenshot, so you can do. Here's the PLR license document, so you can see what you get. PSDs of the actual cover. If you want to give them that as a source, that's fine, but you can change that around as you want. And then you get the ebook already done as a PDF if you wanted to, but it doesn't have a cover, or you get it as a document. So what I like to do, it's very simple. In fact, let's have a look. Okay, there's 100 tips, and it's just a very simple document. 100 tips laid out very simply. So not the best, but for a giveaway, it's not too bad. So you would then add a cover, add like a legal page, a table of contents, maybe a summary page, and then at the back of it, I always have a link back to my one-time offer in case they didn't take me up on it the first time. So simply, that's it. So what I'll do is, now if I use an example, say for example, I did a cover. I'm just going to do something very simple. So I'm in Photoshop right now. So let's just say I do something at, I'm going to do 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 11 inches. And now I'm going to do something very basic here. I'll show you a cover real quick. So I'll do a gradient blur like this. Maybe I'll do this in white. I'm doing something very, very rough here. Okay, this is incredibly rough, in fact. This is why I married a graphics artist. Okay, so do something like this. Is the characters automatic. Okay. Okay, I'm not doing anything great here. I'm just throwing up a demo. Okay, very, very basic. In fact, horribly basic. If my wife saw this, she would freak out that it was that bad. But we'll save this out as a JPEG. Actually, I'm going to save it out as a TIFF. TIFF tends to work best when you're working in the print industry, so we'll save as. I'm going to put it on my desktop in that folder. We'll call it cover, and I'm going to save it as a TIFF. And that. Okay, so we've got that, and then what we'll do is, okay, wrong one, that's actually a script. So we'll save this out as a PDF. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. I'm going to open this with Writer. So I think I have that. Or maybe I don't have it installed on this machine. No, it doesn't look like I've got LibreOffice installed on this machine, on the Mac side. I do have it on the PC side. So, okay, fine. What we'll do then is we'll go old school. I'll pull it open in this. I'm going to save as, I'm going to save it as a PDF. So I'm going to override the existing PDF. And we'll see if that's okay. Then I'm going to pull open the PDF in Adobe Acrobat. I'm going to show you that this is the same kind of process you'd use on any program. I just want to be very clear on this. And then what we're going to do is, okay, complaining at me there. I'm going to insert and okay, so under here, insert pages from file, and then I'm going to go to my desktop here and okay, TIFF, select that, grab that, and then I want to insert it before the first page, like that, and we have our PDF. Now you can create headers and footers, but you see that already gives it a little extra style, and then I might have an appendix with appendices with references and other stuff. You know, you want to make it as comprehensive as possible, and again, you increase the value by doing that. So I'm going to save that, and then what will happen is you'll see here, I'll close that dog training thing, you've got your cover and everything else. So pretty good. That's a very, very fast way. I would suggest, I mean, I'm only doing this in like minutes. I do suggest you take some time to make something look professional and everything else. And again, use a graphics designer to help you out creating something that looks like it could be a published book. The reason you want to do that is that, it's just going to give you credibility. And that's what we're all about here. So if you go to Amazon.com just to kind of look at what's in there, say, dog training. Let's have a look and see what kind of covers. Something like that. That's pretty good. Okay, that's not very. Doesn't stand out. You want to scan through a page and see what grabs you. That is a good cover. That is a very good cover. I like that actually. You've got Cesar Millan everywhere, who's a very famous dog trainer. That stood out, but it's not very much, not a very good cover. That's not too bad. And the funny thing is, I actually used this picture before. I used that on my website with that exact same puppy. That's pretty good. I like that. Things that stand out. You want things that stand out. This is a good one. How to train a dog. Okay, that's on Kindle. So yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of cool things there. And they say that never judge a book by a cover. Well, here's the thing. It's the first thing that sells your book. So if anyone tells you that, they're full of it. So you want to make sure you've got all sorts of stuff like clicker training for dogs. That's pretty good. And again, I'm scanning through. That's not a bad one either. So you want to look at published paperbacks because they take time to make sure what's working and what's not. Okay, so I'm scanning, looking for stuff. Think what will appeal to your target audience. See, that's not a bad one there, and that's someone with a dog with the background cut out on a plain background. That's not bad at all. Anything like that works well. So look for that for inspiration. Find things that work for you and improve upon it. Get better. And pay a little extra if you need to. If you're not going to do it yourself, or you need a graphics artist, there's plenty of people on Odesk, on Fiverr.com. Even if you spend $20, $30, or even $100 on the cover. Remember, this is a conversion magnet. So, okay, let's assume that we've done that for both our sales product, and we've got that configured and rebranded with our cover, because you do this for both your giveaway and your end product, your one-time offer product. You've got content, you know, like emails or articles that you're going to give away over a period of time. What we need to do now is bring everything kind of together. So what we're going to do now is create a list with Aweber. Now, I use Aweber because it's the easiest service to use and very quick to set up, and it has all sorts of great wizards to guide you through everything you do. So what we're going to do is create a default list. Just go to create lists, and then we're going to put Dogs Day Magazine, and then Dogs Day Magazine as the description. Then we're going to put this from us, which is Chris Masterson. Then admin at, actually let's just do no reply, which is better, at dogsdaymagazine.com. And then we'll put in, I'll save settings there, and Dogs Day Magazine. Okay, it requires that we actually have a real email address because it does try to ping it. So let's say Dogs Day Magazine. Let's go create a no reply email. Again, never gets replied to, so that's fine. No reply, and do that. Oh, email passwords don't match. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so we'll go check that. No reply at dogsdaymagazine.com, and then that should be good. The email address must allow replies. Okay, well, it's because I've got no reply. Okay, notifications. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, that's why I didn't like it. Okay, fair enough. Well, it must be a new feature. So Dogs Day Magazine. Put the URL in there. I don't put an email signature in there because I actually do that myself at the end of each email, so I'll save that. Then you've got the default custom confirm your subscription. So I tend to do custom ones, but you can just leave the default. And I always do a custom message here. We received your request for the 100 amazing dog training tips special report that we need to make sure you actually requested it. Then I always say something like, please click the link below to confirm your request, and we will get it to you in just a moment. Now, this is for using double opt-in emails, which I always recommend. You get basically better deliverability rates, and you're not considered spam and all the rest of it. Again, it's all part of building that trust. So Chris Masterson. And then, so you can, if you wanted to go single opt-in where they don't get this, you could turn it off by clicking right here. And then the success page, when they confirm, you want to take them to a one-time offer page. So it's something like dogsdaymagazine.com/special. Something like that. Now, again, you'd have to create that page. That'll be where you put your special offer for your payment version or your one-time offer of your product. So that's good to go. We'll save that. Now the next thing to do is creating a welcome email. So you can actually see this little thing here guide you every step of the way. Welcome email, so we'll go to follow-ups. Now this is where you would load up your sequence. Now you have lots of templates that you could choose from. So I would say the first one being something like welcome to Dogs Day magazine. Here is your don't use the word free. I say here's your download. Leave it like that. And then I give them a welcome message. But here's the cool thing. You actually have all sorts of templates that you can grab. And I like to start off with something that looks professional. So you can take one of their templates. I'm scanning here. Anything that kind of resembles our site in terms of design. Something that looks cool that we can add to. Want something with a little bit of flair to it. Or that we can at least add a header graphic to. Let's go with this one and then keep the content so it doesn't change. And then, okay, there's our basic block. And we've got a title area. We can edit if we wanted to. We can edit this area. And I can do, I can delete that. See this little red X? And then I can put a paragraph in there. I can put an image in the header, so I can put from Dogs Day magazine. I can click that. If I want to stretch it out or do something, upload a file so that we got it. If I click on this, I can edit it live. Hi, and then you can add things like their name and stuff like that. You can do that with tags, for example. If you come up, I think this is it, add personalization. Then first name. Hi, first name. Welcome to Dogs Day magazine. And then something like, we are so glad to have you as part of our community. I always like to make people feel like they belong to something. That's one of my things. So I would expand upon this a little bit, but let's keep it simple. Click here to instantly download your copy of 100 amazing dog training tips, and I hope you try all the fantastic information and guidance it can give. All the best, Chris Masterson. And another thing I always do, which is when people first start, I should give you this tip as well, is in a few days we are going to send you some training tips and advice that we have been. Okay, how would I word this? In a few days, we're going to send you some amazing, I've used that word too many, incredible training advice and tips that will help you and your dog immensely. So keep an eye out for those in the next few days. Well, I'm repeating myself, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to do there. I want to say, hey, we're kind of giving them a heads up. So keep an eye out for those and enjoy. So I'm kind of pre-warming them up to the fact that I will be sending them some great stuff, but I'm saying it's going to be valuable stuff, and we're good to go. So anyway, we've got the base one done. And you could put a little image up there, where, from Dogs Day training or something like that. Change the properties, and be good to go. So you can also add things like an article from your website, or buttons and follow me buttons, or even coupons and it's all good. I mean, you could drop your logo in there if you already have a logo set. That could work as well instead of just doing an image. Whatever you want to do. It's all drag and drop. So once you're done, you can test and preview it or just hit save. I'm going to just save it for now. And next. And then good to go. Save and exit. Now, the other thing you should do is set up your other follow-ups as well. You see, for example, this one goes out right away at the interval of 0 and it's message 1. If you want to add another one, just go like that, add another one, and set up the next one in your sequence. And then you can set up as you're saving. I'm going to do, let me close these templates. I tend to use the same one again and again. But what you want to do is set up the interval and stuff like that. So you can set all this up. It's good to go. Let's just say this is email 1. And then we'll put in whatever we see here. And then we'll go next. And then how many days you want to send it out. So I'll maybe send this out after 4 days after the previous one. And then if I want to send it after at a certain day, for example, I found that working on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Saturday tends to work best for me. And I tend to do it at 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. depend on their time zone. Because I want it to be one of the first things they see in the morning. Now, again, this is from many, many years of email marketing. I found these are the best days to get it. Monday's the beginning of the week, Wednesday's hump day, and Saturdays when they're sat in their jimmy jams at the table just surfing their email. So I do like to check all of those things. So there you go, setting all that up. I'm going to save that. And the last thing to do is get the form. Now, again, you can see we got a kind of area here, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. So what it'll do is, even if it's 4 days after they signed up, it will go to the next nearest one for them. So even if it's not quite 4 days, it actually turns out to be 5 days or 3 days, it will send it out. Actually, tell a lie. We back up. If it's 3 days that you've set it to be an interval for, or 4 days, it won't back up to 3 days. It will wait until the next one is open. So it might even be 5 or 6 days before they get it. But it's soon enough. It's within the week, and that's the main thing. So you would set up all of your other emails just like that. And, at the end of it with the template, you can also have ads for your special giveaway, your $17 product. And have a little ad on the side saying download your copy here. And again, take them to that special offer. So if they didn't get it the first time, hey, they might get it later on, or whatever other offer you want to work in there. So now the last thing, you can see we've got to create a web form. So I'm going to click on do this step. And again, I'm going to just trim this down a wee bit. I don't need all this other stuff. I do like to use the basics. I will actually code a special version of this. But I'm going to do something fairly simple like this. I mean, you've got all sorts of other templates you can use and what have you. For example, you could do something like this. It's got a little button down the side. So, and let's keep it something that's colorful. So something like that. You can check to see what kind of themes you like. That's not bad. So we'll load that template in. And you can see we got the basics there. We could change that graphic to be your download image. And where do we send it? So I can change this button. It says right now, okay, so it's a form button, sign up. You could change that to be a graphic. Again, I'm just going to keep it basic here. So, okay, save. That's the button image. So you could get your own button if you want to. That's fine. If you want to go default, yeah, you can. No problem at all. Just whatever you see fit. So I'm going to go actually with that one. Load it. And again, that's got a background image. So once you're done with that, you could, again, throw in an image here if you wanted to. And load it up from wherever. Position it on the left. you know, hey, where would you like to send this type thing to? You can drag all of these items as you see fit. For example, you drag a header onto this one. Actually, let me just save that. Drag the header down and say something like get 100 amazing free dog training tips. Right now, or something like that. Again, you can make your mini squeeze page right on here. Now again, I do suggest that you hire someone to help you with this if you want to. You can get all sorts of great graphics done, but I'm just showing you the basics. Again, I'm going to click the privacy here. Again, one thing I do like to modify this if I can. So I'll change the you can have something in there or create something yourself. So I'm going to remove that actually, because I might put my own one in there. And if you want anything like just a general text one, like, see right now there's this graphic here, but we would change that. So, you know, just, for example, just tell us where you would like us to send it, and then save, and then you can move that up and edit it as you see fit. So just like that, you've just created your call to action. If you want to change the width, let's see, try and see, usually you can see how wide it's going to be. For example, I know my page is about 630 wide. So again, this is very, very simple stuff. I'm just building it in here. I would actually tend to do something custom. Again, if you need to, get a designer. But let's save the form. And then go to step 2. And it says, you know, your name of your form. So we'll just call this dog CTA, call to action. Basic version, I would actually go to the smart video version. That does all the confirmation stuff for you. So just looking back at the checkboard here. Again, the confirmation is then done. So you can see all of these, you know, we're doing all of these items. The only thing we haven't done is the download page. And all you do is create a blank page in WordPress, put your download link on it, and you're good to go. And you can upload the file to your website through File Transfer Protocol, FTP, or through cPanel, whatever you need to do. So we'll go to now step 3. Or if they're already subscribed, I just take them to the thank you page or the special page. So for example, dogsdaymagazine.com/special, which is the link we used before. And then we save the form, go to step 3, which basically gets you the code, and it'll say, hey, I will install the form. Now, this version will give you just exactly what you see. If you get the raw HTML version, you can have your designer edit it and get all the basic information. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to copy and paste that over here. And I'm going to copy and paste that over here just so I have it. And then I'm going to come back to the website. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install a new plugin. So I'm going to come to the dashboard, come to plugins, add new, and I'm going to use a plugin called WP Insert. Now this is a cool little plugin. It will actually do a lot of different ad type insertions, but the cool thing is it allows you to insert content at the top or the bottom of posts. So I'm going to install that, and it supports all sorts of cool stuff. And it allows you to add it to pages, to posts, and things like that. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to go to Manage Ads, and then what I'm going to do is take this, go to Add Below Post. So I'm going to go to Add below post, paste in my little bit of code. Again, there are, as I say, if you're going to get someone to do this with you, get someone to do that. Make sure you've got your image of your product in there. I'm going to click to activate. Then I'm going to choose different things. If I want to exclude it on certain pages, for example, then I'll select which pages I don't want it on. For example, I don't want it on my testimonials and my disclaimer pages. So click OK. I don't want it to show on the home page or archive pages. And then we will save that. So go back and then view the actual main pages, and we'll open that in a new tab. And hopefully, if we go to, say, this article, and we'll click on this, and we'll come down to the bottom, and hopefully we'll see that call to action right there. Enter your name and address. So for example, I'll do Sean and maybe my admin at I Am Success Center. Sign up, and you'll get a little thing.
Please check your inbox now to confirm your subscription.
You can see that it actually is talking to me as well. And you say, hey Sean, confirm your subscription from Chris Masterson. So that's the smart version. And then if I do that, it'll take me to the one-time offer page, which we haven't created, but we'll do that. Just go to Pages, Add New, and then create your special offer page. So don't miss out on this special offer. And then you'd have your offer in here, and then your actual PayPal button, or whatever else you're doing. Maybe it's even an affiliate product that you want to promote. Either way is fine, but you've got that information to promote to in the future. So literally, that's all you do, and then you have to create 2 download pages in exactly the same way with links to download the product. And you have just created an incredible business from absolutely scratch. And again, this is very, very quick. I mean, we've done this in 6 hours. I've built this entire business right in front of you, from concept to research to everything else. Obviously, you would spend a lot more time and care on it. What I'm showing you here is the concepts. But I did show and say I would show you a secret weapon. Something that you can use that has increased my sign-ups on a lot of things by 300%. So I'm going to show you that. But here's the thing. I've monetized this partially with AdSense on this site. What I'm about to show you cannot be used if you're using AdSense. And AdSense is Google's own paper, basically CPA network, these ads here. So what I'm about to show you, if you're using these, you cannot use this one I'm about to show you. Because it's a pop-up, a very special type of pop-up that comes up. So let me grab that and I'll show you exactly what that is. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my secret weapon. I've got this plugin, I've used it for a long time, and it is absolutely incredible. It's called Pop-Up Domination. You can see it installed on my main website, and I'm looking at the back end of my main website right now, so I can show you this rather than install it on the new website. And this is a very powerful little plugin. It's got some great add-ons, and I'm going to show you this. Basically what you can do is you create these incredible pop-ups that appear on your website. You can specify whether they appear after a few seconds or if they're about to exit the website. So it's very cool. Pop-up blockers don't block it, and it is pretty solid. Now I'm going to include a link to this one below, but you can set up what you see as fit. They've got all sorts of templates, for example. I'll show you. There's an example of a template that pops up, and you can have a killer headline, call to action, some bullet points. Again, that's why I was saying those bullet points that you find on the sales description do most of the work for you when you're downloading from, say, Master Resale Rights or any other PLR site out there. And there's all sorts of things you can do on top of that. There's, if you wanted to include one with a video, you could, or social media one, or some sort of other premium template, which I'm using. And there's, let's see, that's actually doubling up. Let's have a look. There's one there with a video, very short one like that. So all sorts of different ones. I'm not going to actually change it. I'm going to put it back to where it was. But if you want to see, there's all sorts of, you could add the content, the bullet lists. You can literally copy and paste your autoresponder code in here. So you can do like your mailing list manager. You can hook in all your stuff. You do it right here. And so you click on that. And it says, okay, how do you want to integrate? So it supports MailChimp, Aweber, iContact. You can actually do all that. Or the one I use is the HTML form code. That way I can customize everything, because this one integrates directly in via API, which is like a integrated way of doing things. I don't like that per se. I much prefer to have direct control like this way. So that's how I like to do it. And then again, let me show you a preview. So I'll go to campaigns here, and you can do A/B split testing, which is a very cool thing, by the way. If you get a chance to do any sort of split testing, you can maximize your conversions by like 10, 20, or even 30%. So I'll launch a preview here. And I'll just show you. That's basically what it pops up with. And it just occupies your entire attention, and you get absolutely massive signups by doing this. It's very, very powerful. And I love it. It's worked very well for me, and I can't say enough about it. So we'll close that. That is the plugin that literally it boosted my conversions by 300%. Now, if they close that, read the article, and then decide they want to sign up, then guess what? You've just double tapped, and you're more likely to get lots of signups. That works incredibly well. So it's a very, very powerful little plugin. It's a wee bit pricey. It's about $67, I think it is. But it certainly can help, and it's a well worth investment. Now, again, one thing I'm going to say throughout this course and Accelerator and Elite, I'm going to recommend the best tools that I use to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. The things that have worked for me. I've tested so much software, many, many different plugins. I develop my own plugins, as many of you know. In fact, you might have come to this course because of one of my plugins or one of my other courses. That's what this is all about. I'm sharing with you the secrets, the things that work, and tell you the things that don't. So right now, outside of that little secret weapon, we can consider that our site is ready to go. So, with a little bit of tweaking, obviously we've got a lot of content on here, and we need to change things around a little bit and push things up. But we are ready to launch. I mean, we haven't put a contact button up here, and I can modify the menu and things like that. But in essence, we're ready to go. Now, if I've done all that, I'm happy. I've spent a lot more time than 6 hours on this, and I'm ready to go. All I do is come down to settings, privacy, and we had selected ask the search engines not to index this site. When you're ready to go, click on that button, click Save Changes, and you are ready to go live. So I'm actually going to leave it off for now, do some final tweaks, and that's it for this module. Now again, this has been a very, very long module. There's a lot of information. Each one of these modules is information packed. I'm showing you from start to finish how to set all this up. All you have to do is apply the information. That's your goal. It might take you a week, it might take you 2 weeks, it might take you a month. It doesn't matter. All that is important is that you're moving forward with an end game in mind, and if you hit a roadblock, overcome it. And I'll tell you right now, if you're an Accelerator member, I can guarantee there's a lot of members in there who have overcome your roadblock, faced your roadblock, and will be able to help you with any roadblocks. And again, we've got all sorts of people in there that might be able to help you with graphics design, with article content, or recommend someone that can help you with your roadblocks if you want to look absolutely fantastic and get this rocking and rolling as quick as possible. Okay, so your action steps are add your main content, your 10 to 20 articles to your main website, so you've got your articles in place. Create your trust builder and the flow. In other words, find products to give away or to sell, and then instigate your autoresponder, put your autoresponder messages in place. Set your converter and your call to action, and if you want to, you can use pop-up domination or something similar. and then test everything and launch your site. Seems like there's only 4 steps, but as you saw, there was a lot of information contained in this. And in the next module, we're going to show you the essentials of good external SEO. Now that you're live, we're going to look at search engine optimization. We're going to look at authority link building, the pulse effect and why you must use it. And then we're going to show you how to take everything to the very next level. So with that being said, I will see you in module 6 in a week's time. Take care.